Okay, so I'm going to show you all how to use the soldering station and the torch appropriately. So first thing that we would do is turn on the ventilation system, which the flip is right here on the wall. I'm going to leave it off for this demo so that way you can hear what I'm saying. In your soldering station, you're going to see that you have a striker, a pair of goggles. So first thing is putting your goggles on, making sure you don't have anything loose hanging from you like sweatshirt, necklace, and that your hair is pulled back, most importantly. And then also check your wrists to make sure you don't have anything dangling there. So when we come over here, you'll see that there is a row of fire brick, which is what we heat metal on. It's not going to, light on fire. It's a safe place for your heat. You're gonna see that you have a little cup with some solder picks and tongs and a paintbrush, which I'll explain that in the next video. And then you have a bowl for quenching your metal. So just like when you're thirsty, you want to quench your thirst, you're taking that hot metal and quenching it. Most importantly, this is a very dangerous process. It's a dangerous course, you know that. And so you are expected to read these every time you come over here, especially the first 5 times of doing it. Because it's going to become like riding a bike, but not until you do it enough times for it to feel second nature. So each time you're gonna read this, anyone that misbehaves will go down to the deans and you will not be able to use fire. You can make friendship bracelets for the rest of the semester. So step 1 is to ensure all valves are facing off. We wanna make sure that they were turned off previously so that there's not air and gas building up in the room. So when we look at that, it says that they're off. Right here, the valves, they're facing off. So both of them are towards the wall. So we are good to move to step 2. Step 2 says turn air and gas valves on. They should now be parallel to the nozzle. The nozzle is where the tube connects to the tubing. And so now what we're doing is taking these arms, windshield wipers, turning them towards the wall. So the air or the gas is very easy to turn. Because the air is compressed gas, sometimes it might be a little bit harder to pull. So now we're facing. Step 3 is going to be where you're going to pick up the torch. Nothing bad can happen right here. You don't want to point this up because you're going to, light that on fire, melt it. You don't want to drop it when you hear the noise because then you're going to cause fire down here. And the most important is don't turn to your neighbor. Don't freak out. If you don't feel safe doing it, please always tell myself or Miss Hurst, and we will come do it with you. You need a safety partner for the first few times doing this. So it says slightly turn on the gas from the torch. So this is going to be our red tube. Red tube, if we follow it all the way down to the nozzle, is gas, which is our bottom chamber. It's also labeled right here, gas and air. So we're slightly turning it on. You want to hear a light shh. You don't want to hear shh. That's what's going to cause dragon's breath is what I call it. Because when you then light it and you hear so much gas build up, it's going to come out roaring fire, and that's scary. So put your ear up to it. Nothing bad can happen until you strike it. So, all right, I hear the shush. Next, step 4 says ignite the gas with a striker. This is a striker. There should be flint in all of these. Once that wears out, you need to let me know so I can get you more. When you're doing the striker correctly, you should not have to do it like 10, 12 times. It should be something that takes just a few times at most. So striker down here, I'm not gonna move away from the fire brick. And then it says, slowly turn on the air once we strike. Okay, if that happens, and it doesn't strike right away, you can turn it up slightly. Okay, you can set the striker to the side or put it down. Hang it back up. Now the green, we're slowly introducing the gas. So you're gonna start to see the combination of gas and oxygen or air. You're gonna look for a sharp blue cone. It should almost look like a fluttery blue out here and then a sharp cone on the inside. You can also, if you feel like you need a little bit more gas, can turn that up, and then you're gonna have to get rid of that flutter by then adjusting your air. So we wanna get that perfect sharp blue cone. What we don't wanna see is any orange or yellow. That's not actually like hot enough metal. It's not gonna make our metal hot, and so we wanna adjust accordingly. So this is a perfect flame. Then when we turn this off, you always turn the gas off first, which is our bottom. So I'm gonna turn it off. Now, I'm going the wrong way on purpose. If you start to see your flame get bigger and louder, it means you need to reverse immediately. Turned off, turned off. I'm gonna set this to the side because my fire brick's most likely gonna be hot. Then the last thing is turning your valves back off towards the wall. Don't assume the next person is going to do it for you. And that's how you use your torches.